Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests to have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Kevin Krumm on the line, and he is COO over at Objective Paradigm. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Adam. Thanks for having me today.
All right, Kevin. So a great topic today. We'll talk about how to be successful hiring tech talent. So a lot of people in the line that are looking to accomplish just that. And just to get us started, so I like to start with our signature question. So Kevin, we at Mission Matters, we amplify stories for entrepreneurs, executives, and experts. So that's our mission here. Kevin, what mission matters to you?
Thanks. So our company, Objective Paradigm, we were founded over 20 years ago. And one of the things we realized along the way was how great it was to feel both respected and knowing that we were effective for the clients and candidates that we worked with. And we didn't quite articulate it that way in the early days, but as the years went by and we took a look at what our mission was for the organization, we came down to thinking like, well, that's it. We want to be the most respected and effective recruiting firm for every client and candidate we work with. And balancing those two things is where the magic happens. It's one thing to be effective and get the job done, but maybe everybody walks away and they're not too happy with the whole experience, right? And then there's in another way, you can bring some people together and have this wonderful experience, but then, maybe you don't get the job done and the thing doesn't happen. And we thought, well, that's really where the magic's at, right? When we were able to get the job done for the candidate and the client that we work with as a recruiting services firm, and then have everyone walk away and be like, wow, it was great to work with them. And so that became, our mission, our vision for what we do. And then obviously as a recruiting services firm, connecting those two parties in the various ways that we do it is really key and important to us too. And then, me personally, I've found early in my career, I've been doing this my whole career, that nothing brought me greater joy than to see a company that had a need for people within their organization and be able to work with candidates that were looking for something different, something special, something that signified maybe a move upward in their career, to connect them with that kind of opportunity and know you're helping build a company, helping someone feel great about their career. It was like this double win that I appreciated very early on in my career, and that's been my mission personally in this space throughout my career.
Fantastic. And love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on the line to share. And just dive into today's topic. So hiring tech talent, it's competitive out there. There's some people watching right now. What should they be thinking about first when they're going after that talent?
Sure. Well, Adam, competitive for sure. So it definitely is competitive out there. So maybe this isn't the answer that a lot of people would like to hear, but the first thing is to look inside their company and really at some of the things that you don't think about. Well, job description and, do you have it posted and all this sort of stuff comes up. But really, do you have a company, a team, a group that people want to work for? And if you can keep that in the forefront of your mind as something that needs to be addressed, you'll keep your top talent, and nothing attracts other top talent, right? Than the opportunity to work with people that they would respect and consider quote unquote top talent as well, right? So first you want to look inward at that. I see a lot of companies again now focus on in the interview process qualifying candidates and stuff like that, and that's certainly important. It's very important, but I'd say to try and spend an equal amount of time thinking about the story that you have, right? And whether or not candidates are going to connect to that story. So, and I'll tell you what, I've told clients this before, and even over the phone, I could see their eyes rolling sometimes, particularly the engineers and such, like, really? And maybe it's not their comfort zone to get into storytelling, but it's key, because if you've got three opportunities, if a candidate's interviewing with three different companies, and it's all similar projects, similar technologies, managerial roles, similar upside opportunities, what's going to make the difference is the company that told the candidate a story that they were able to connect to that's going to help that company stand out. And it is competitive. So the things that you can do to differentiate yourself is what's going to make a difference. And I'd say figure out, what kind of story you've got to tell candidates. And it could be anything, by the way. It could be about the company's mission. It could be about the particular group or team dynamics that you have within your little team. If you're just a hiring manager in a big company, what is it about your team dynamics? Can you tell a story around that might get a candidate excited? And it could just be about the tech stack you're working with, right? The technologies that you have and the problem that you're trying to solve. But put it together in a story that the candidate's going to be able to connect to. It's going to make a big difference.
Oh, that's awesome. And so if somebody's working with a recruiter, tell me some of the things that make them more successful. The companies, what makes that relationship more successful?
Well, relationship, Adam, is the key word right there. And so if you think about it as a relationship, then you want to think about the types of things that make a relationship successful. And I'm going to go with open, honest, frequent communication. And that could sound like a lot of work, right? Can't I just get good candidates from a recruiter and that be it, right? But the more dialogue you're able to have, the more understanding you're able to create, the better the recruiter. And look, I talked about telling the story. That's one of the primary things we do for our clients is tell that story. We're only able to craft, that story and tell a really good one when we're able to develop that rapport with our clients. And so investing in that frequent communication is really important. I can tell you a story. We just recently, had a client that we were trying to get some feedback from for a candidate that had taken a code exercise. Candidates do these code exercises. They can be quite lengthy at times, and of course, they're anxious to get some feedback. So we asked a couple of times for feedback, knowing that the candidate, she wanted to know how she did. And 2 weeks go by, and we're in a position now where we have to call them up and tell them she's accepted another job. And and we get them, or it was an email actually, and we get an email back from them saying something to the effect like, "Well, that's okay. We were going to pass on her anyway." And part of me thought, God, I don't know that they really get it, right? Because now moving forward, it's you just know that they're not as invested in that relationship, or how important it is. And a lot of times recruiters work on a commission or a fee that's contingent upon the company hiring the person. So we could do all the work, and in this case we did a bunch of work, and we don't make any money, because they didn't hire the person. So you have to figure out who you're going to work with, who we're going to spend time with, and those are the kinds of communication or feedback that don't help build a good relationship. Now, but of course, I have to tell you, we have to do a great job for the candidate too, and it was us that did place her at another company. So we were able to get her into a different opportunity. But those are the types of things, just being able to have that open relationship, honest feedback, frequent communication. It's a real key in working with a recruiter to get the types of candidates you need and to have success in hiring.
Fantastic. No, and it makes perfect sense that relationship is going to be the core when you have somebody out there trying to especially place top talent. And so speaking of the types of talent you place, so final question, this is a two-part question. Number one, what's the right types of, I know we've been talking about, primarily on the tech side a bit today. What type of roles do you recruit for, number one? And then number two, what's the best way for people to follow up and to learn more and to connect with you and your team?
Great. So, yeah, we primarily help our clients hire tech talent, and that's talent across, different ecosystems. So it could be developers in the fintech space. It could be software engineers for startup companies. It could be in the SAP world, the Salesforce world. So a lot of developers, but we also help our clients hire for all parts of their organization. So we help our clients with a lot of sales and marketing hires as well. So tech is our main thing, but we work with a lot of small and mid-sized companies that need help elsewhere. And when you create that great relationship and rapport, we want to be able to help them hiring elsewhere in their company. And so if firms are looking to connect with us, our website and LinkedIn are two great places for us. Our website is www.oprecruiting.com. That's O as in Oscar, P as in Peter. And then obviously on LinkedIn, they can find us at Objective Paradigm, and we'll have a lot of good content up there for candidates and clients.
Fantastic. Well, Kevin, been great having you on the show today and learning more about, your mission and why you do what you do, and also all the great work that you and your team are doing over at Objective Paradigm. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. Hope you learned a lot. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, especially if you're a first-time visitor. Definitely want you to come back. We have many more mission-based entrepreneurs and businesses and don't want you to miss a thing. And Kevin, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Adam.